are live. What's up? What's up? What's up? It is our Thursday night list stream. I'm Crunk Chocolate. We are Shades of Blue. I'm here with my show bros, Tarek, Sharpie Charlie. What's up? How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Glad to be here on another Thursday night list stream.
Cheers.
Let's get to it.
You know, doing better than the men, city men. That's for sure. Doing way better.
I thought we were going to try to avoid that, but no,
I was gonna say
right
you jump right on into the misery.
Why avoid our truth? We got to live in our truth, y'all.
Hey, but you know what, Charlie, you'll appreciate this. My wife, she one of the teachers in her building has a student teacher this semester. And evidently they found out he's a United fan.
Oh no.
And he was talking trash yesterday about your husband's team is a cheater, they're a bunch of cheaters, they're dirty, whatever. So I sent her into work today with the scarf. She waited for him to be in the room, then she it's kind of cold in here. Broke out the scarf, put the scarf on. He was just like, oh. I was like, hey,
I love that.
I love it. She's
not
even really a City fan, but she knows it. It's my passion. So
that's real love right there. It's real love. But
absolutely.
Hey, I'm good, man. It's a beautiful day. It's still cold as all get out. I'm tired of winter.
Man, it's freezing.
Yeah. It is horrible. Winter's a terrible season. Why did they give Black History Month in winter? This is not what our people are here for. Like, we didn't start in this country in the cold, so why we got to get the cold months? Why couldn't we get June? June would have been perfect. But no, 30 days.
They're not giving us that.
Juneteenth. We got Juneteenth. We just make the whole month.
In my mind, I take the first 2 days of March and I keep that going for Black History Month. I'm gonna get my 30 days. I don't care. Like,
I'm here for that. Let's get our added up. So we're going 31 days as opposed to just 30. Just get
it's not a leap year this year, is it? No, it's not a leap year. So I try to do like 30 even. So yeah.
Okay, that's right.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let's get into the shits.
Amazing guest today. Super excited. PJ Green, he's coming back. It's always a great conversation with him. And two guests, first time on the lit stream, Natty Blaze, Kyle Scoble. We out here. Oh man, I mean, we might as well bring the homie PJ Green on anyway, because we like to start off with a citizen, the vibes, copacetic, immaculate, before potentially diving into a sea of red. But I don't think we'll have that problem today. We'll find out though. But first, give it up for PJ Green. What's up, homie?
What's up with you, man?
Oh, you on mute?
You're
all right, there we go. All right,
there we go.
Crunk, I always love your energy, man. It's always amazing. It's always amazing.
I appreciate it. It's a lit stream. I gotta bring it, and also
stay lit.
Dos Equis, that helps. It's a good push at least.
Always.
But yeah, I mean, how are you? How are things? Big J journalist, double J, triple J journalist.
Things are good, man. Things are good. Yeah. I think last time I remember we were talking about Harrison Butker. Man, that was almost a year ago at this point.
Yeah, it was like a year ago. Yeah.
Woo! Wow. Yeah, time flies. Yeah. So things have been good. I made it to training camp, Chiefs training camp, and they got a new job. I'm at the Kansas City newspaper, the Kansas City Star. Not in sports currently, just breaking news. So covering all of the
breaking news.
Yeah, all the nasty stuff that people don't like to talk about or like to get angry about. Murders, accidents, shootings, all that good stuff. So it's been a good time. It's been almost 6 months. So yeah, it's been good.
Do you miss the sports part at all?
Sometimes. I mean, like, watching live sports for work is always, that's always a plus. Yeah, not like now I'm like, but I have my weekends back though, which is crazy. So now I take my weekends to watch all the live sports from the couch, and
there you go,
and watch like 5 things at once, and I'm like, ooh, yes,
it's the best life. It's the best. I love the weekend.
Yes, like things are happening. I get to I can go brunch every weekend. Like I mean, this is good. Like
DJ
sports is
outside
cool.
with it. He outside now.
That's basically.
Hey, sports is cool, but relaxation is even
Said
better.
life is better.
Let's go.
Yes,
That's
yes.
facts. That's facts.
Can I shout out PJ real quick?
Please.
Because before he came on, I know that he did a LeBron, right? He had a do-rag on before. And then he got on camera. The Big J journalist popped out, took off the do-rag. I loved it. I was like, hey, switch it up. It was wonderful.
So, because I took a shower earlier, so I'm like, all right, let me lay it on so it look good.
Let's go. It's Black History Month. You got to.
There you go.
I'm like, hold on, I might need to keep it on a little bit. And I was like, I'll take it off.
I just had to shout it out. I loved it. I love the switch up.
That's hilarious. Man, Kansas City, we were all talking about the cold before you came on. And Kansas City, also cold and having sporting events. So, like, how's that?
Outdoor sporting events.
Yes.
I mean, if there's one thing that they not gonna do in this city, it is shut down a sport for weather. Like, they might move it, but you're gonna be outside. Like, ain't no dome. That's why the Super Bowl never coming here. You know, like 2 degrees. And I meant to like go look at the official like count for last night's match, but like one of the first shots I saw somebody I knew, and I just texted her. I'm like, I know you. It looked fun out there, like because, like, I mean, but people around here know how to layer up, so they're gonna be outside. They're gonna watch their teams. That's just how they do it here in the Midwest.
So you won't be out there?
I sure won't.
Okay.
That's a level of love I don't have.
He just told you he about to be on his couch.
Hey, these are not my teams. I just used to cover them, and you know what? I'll still watch them from the house. It's gonna be a good time.
That's fair. Oh man, I couldn't imagine.
I had to be out there for the Chiefs Dolphins game. That so the whole lot of people got frostbite, had to lose some digits. I said, yeah, that's if I survive that, I can do anything. Which means that I won't be repeating that performance. It's like so.
And it always seems like I even if the MLS would happen to change the schedule where it matches the rest of the footballing world, I still feel like there would still be some weird chaos that would happen or just weirdness in general. So I mean, you never really know. The whole CONCACAF, they're just wild and insane in itself.
That was the funniest part was seeing like seeing teams playing Colorado and Kansas City where it's like disgustingly cold, and then looking at Seattle and Real Salt Lake, and they're playing in like Costa Rica and Honduras and Guatemala. I'm like y'all lucked out. Good job, because like you gonna come back and play here, and it'll be decent again. So good for y'all. This is CONCACAF.
Yeah, never too serious. I'm not gonna lie. That's why, unfortunately, the vibes are just so weird, and I've been trying to find a team to just like latch on, and I keep saying this is my season, and I still don't really have it. I mean, I have Angel City, of course, but I don't have a MLS squad that I enjoy, and it's even harder to pick a USL because they're so like spread out.
Yes.
And when they get that USL Premier and they get a competing D1 Division 1 league, it's gonna be interesting.
Hey, I'm for the D1 like pro relegation. Like people are like, oh, it'll kill clubs. I'm like, I mean, maybe, but like, time to put your money up. Like, time to get with the times. Like,
and then you can actually see, because like living in Indiana, Indy 11 down in Indianapolis, about 2 hours away, but right now they're limited as to what they can do. You put that promotion relegation in place. Now it's really up to, because they want to go to MLS, but MLS is saying no. So now you put this in place, they can go to that top level, just based on sporting merit. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think what's going to end up happening, if they actually get it implemented, MLS is going to try to merge like the NBA and the ABA and NFL, AF, whatever. They're not going to let it go out there too long without them.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that I like that's like me and one of my old coworkers, like we always talk about like the MLS is too big. Like no other like top flight division has 30 teams. That's ridiculous. So and if they try to merge, it would just be like it's like, all right, what are you gonna do with all these teams? Like so
You officially have a pyramid thoh. You have enough teams
yes,
to make 6
yes,
tiers. Like
yes. Like and because I remember when I remember when like when the pro rel talks like came last year for USL, and one of the guys I used to be in like soccer press boxes with, he'd be like pro relegation won't work in America just because like it's not the system's not built for that. I'm like yeah, well maybe it's time to change the system. Like I don't know, like why we got to be so different from every league that's been around for hundreds of years at this point. Like America just chooses not to follow the formula that has been set before them to be different and capitalism. So hey, it's the life they chose.
oh yeah, it's I I mean changing the system. I'm all for that. But I do think that's how they're gonna have to get it figured out. And all these other leagues, there have been teams that have gone bust and they've gone away. That's just part of the game. And maybe I don't know, teams combine, do like figure some things out. I think that might actually get me locked in if they like announce this giant like pro rel and they're combining forces. That's happened.
That would be funny.
It's too much going on. Like
right,
like they need a couple years to plan for it, but still.
Yes. Like I'm surprised they even let like the women's super league like get started. I'm like, oh, like okay, so we go see how it works. So like they like coming on the back end of like their schedule for this year because like they're doing like the world does, which has like a league through the school year basically. So I'm like, yeah, maybe we should do that. Like, take a break for the winter because it'd be cold out here.
It does. And it's just like, are we making enough money to really take that risk? Are enough people going to be showing up in the cold to our games? So it's smart. And if it grows well enough in a couple years, they can announce that they will embrace the weather and see how that goes. But
right,
it could be a secret. But speaking of women's football, how are you feeling about the current this season?
I mean, yeah, I was just looking at rosters earlier, so I'm like, they look strong again, I mean, they got all their pieces coming back for the most part. They add some midfielders with Rocky Rodriguez. You got Haley Hopkins from the Courage for some depth, Like they still got Bia, still got Timoa, who like I mean, the league is already so scared of her. Like, it is amazing. Like in one of the Instagram videos where they just showed like they just showed the two teams in the matchup, and like players will see the current, they'll just be like, Timoa. I'm like, ooh. I'm like, the mark has been set. So with that young woman, you can go as far as you allow yourself to go. So like it's all right there for the taking. I mean, the key is probably gonna be keeping Bia healthy, like keeping folks healthy. That's gonna be the main thing.
Can I ask about last night? What was your take on Messi actually doing the cold night in Kansas City? Like, people were worried that he would sit out. Like, how was that received in the city?
I was impressed. I think everybody came away impressed because I mean, just seeing folks online being like, hey, like he played the whole match, like kudos to him. Like, yeah, because that was a funny thing that I was telling my friends. I was like, can he do it in Kansas City, Kansas, on a random Thursday with ice on the ground? Like, can you do it now, Messi? And he did.
He did.
I'm like, that's why he the GOAT. That is why he's the GOAT. So, like, I was impressed that he played. Well, not that he played. I was impressed that he stayed in and that he scored, and the way he scored. I'm like, oh, stop doubting this man. Like,
yeah. Sorry, I didn't even think about the comments. You get it, BJ, and then
yes,
this is facts. If MLS does need some names, City's getting rid of.
Yes, Kyle Walker. Yeah.
We got a couple more you can have too.
KDB's going to San Diego.
Every millennial can go. Get the millennials out of my club. I'm over it.
Yeah, what is going on with y'all boys this year, man? Is
Old.
everybody just hurt
Old.
or is the wheels
Old.
falling off? Yeah.
Old.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Did not play old. Can't play old. Can't run old. It's a bunch
Mhm.
of old men.
Yeah.
And even the ones that aren't old, they get like out of plays. It's just so many mental lapses.
Mm.
Like I sent Crunk the post on Instagram that was like, we're very, very sad. That's what Bernardo said. And he's right. We are very, very sad against
Yeah.
the best teams. Because here's the
Yeah.
thing, we're still better than like 16 teams in the Premier League. So like it goes both ways. You aren't the
Yeah.
best in the world, but you're gonna be good enough to like come back. So it's just,
Right.
we're trying to get through.
Is it gonna be is it gonna be Europa League?
No,
Don't laugh. Don't play in our
No,
face.
no,
Don't play in my
no,
face.
that's
come
not
on, man.
happening. We ain't doing
Don't be
that.
coming up here
What are we
throwing
doing?
in
We're
types
gonna
of
get top
insults and
4
shit.
anyway, but
I'm
this year you
sorry.
get top 5.
Hey, that's the most disrespectful thing a
Yeah.
black man has said to me in Black History Month
Europa
in my
League.
life.
Hey, that's crazy.
He said, "Is it gonna be Europa? You look like Man U.
Like,
You look like Liverpool. You don't know Europa. I don't know that. I don't do Thursday night football. I don't know about that. I do Thursday night for the NFL. That's it.
United would be like jumping for joy if they got Europa right now.
Yes,
It'd be a
again.
miracle. That's like Jesus coming
Again.
back right now for United to go to Europa. They would take that.
Oh my god.
Hey, Europa was going crazy today, though. Bunch of teams I couldn't pronounce. They was going off.
Yeah, man.
Did Ajax make it? I know, like I saw the scores. They got wild for a minute. Like I was like, oh,
Yes.
this is tough.
Yeah, the Swedes and the Irish and like everybody. Like yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on today. Again, a bunch of teams I can't even pronounce. I'm not even gonna try.
Now that they're through to the knockout stages, I'll pay attention now. But all that other stuff, for again, like you said, a bunch of teams' names that I can't pronounce, I'm not familiar with. I look forward to in the future possibly getting to know them, But
when y'all
like,
when y'all
now,
play them, when y'all play the champion from the Czech Republic.
That's how I learned what Slavia Prague was. I ain't know about that team till they come up. Young boys, Gink, like it's some hitters that come out of every now and then. When Young Boys beat Man U that year, it changed my life. I'm a fan forever.
Yes.
Yeah. Can't stop, won't stop.
I'll be in.
oh man. Okay. Yeah, and you're a great person because is Kansas City a host spot for the World Cup?
We got they got a couple. They got a quarterfinal. That's like the highest they got. They got every round basically. Yes.
How are you feeling about the World Cup coming here? I was kind of excited, when it was first announced, and with the current administration and the way that they're acting. One, I'm not even sure if people are going to have money to even go to the World Cup. And then two, I'm not even sure players and their supporters are going to be able to come here. And this is obviously very serious conversation, but it does need to be had. And as someone who will be covering the World Cup from a host city, how are you feeling about things?
I know we put out like a recent story being like, Kansas City needs to get their stuff together for the World Cup because it's coming like ASAP. So I mean they're doing things to get the infrastructure together, but when they announced that they were going to be hosting, my first thought was, I can't wait for Peru and Vietnam or whoever to ride around Kansas City and see the route they have to take to Arrowhead Stadium and be like, what is this? This is America? And yep. this is America. This is Kansas City, Missouri. This is not Kansas. You are in Missouri.
You are in Missouri. It is a big
Missouri.
It's a big difference. Yeah.
But you might train in Kansas, so there are differences. So yeah, they working on infrastructure. They're working on trying to get roads together and trying to make sure travel is supposed to be smooth from the airport and everything like that. But I think it's gonna be a time. It's definitely gonna be a time. Everybody's excited for it to come. The events are gonna be good. The vibes are gonna be great. But yeah, I'm very much concerned with how the numbers are gonna look. If it's gonna get crowded, you know, like if the airport's gonna be smashed, you know, things like that. So I think it helps. It's in their favor that they only have a quarterfinal, like they don't have a semi or anything like that. So I think that'll help a little bit.
You know, a lot of I guess the foreign or the non-Americans are going to be coming in. They're going to be used to, you know, public transportation, getting on a train or, you know, bus or whatever. What is Kansas City's public transportation like?
It's here. I mean, they have bus routes. You know, they have the streetcar that kind of goes throughout the inner city, but I mean, it's not highly regarded. I will say that. Like it's there. I think bus fare. I think the bus is still free for now. Because I think they made the bus free during COVID, during the height of COVID, and then you know, they just kept it free. So like people use it all the time. It's very much needed. I just don't know how much it is going to help. Like when you know thousands of people are going to influx the city for a small period of time. So I think that's still one of the big concerns here is making sure like they're adequately staffed and having things like that go smooth. So
yeah, we do not do public transit well, and it's always weird when you go to a city that does, and even then theirs isn't great. And
yeah.
Thanks for joining in, Stay. Come on, City. And it's like like perfect example, going to New York, that's great. And I know there's lots of craziness and things going on, but I mean it's a kind of a bigger city. But yeah, just being able to a train, a bus, there's basically always some sort of transport going on, and get you if you can navigate yourself. But yeah, I went there for my first time and I did fine.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing is like you did fine, but like how are the people, you know, from different
Who don't
countries that
speak that
languages? Yeah. So like it's gonna be a lot of things going on. Like the inner city is not close to the airport. Like it is a good ways away from the airport. So it's a lot of stuff going on. And plus, like with the report that the U.S. Travel Association had this week, where they said America basically is not ready for the next decade of events that we have coming up. Like America's not ready for Olympics, not ready for World Cup. So it's especially with all these plane crashes that have been happening lately and all these issues with air traffic control, and again, like the whole current administration. Like this is why people think politics don't affect them. Oh, it does. It always does. That is why people always tell you to go vote, because it will affect you one way or another. And this is just another one of those things where politics seeps into your ways to get away from it.
What they say, you may not care about politics, but politics it will affect you. Quick question, PJ. As a Black man, I believe you're from Georgia, right?
Yes.
How is it like the majority of your life living in red states, and like now what you do for news, and you know obviously you have to be impartial, you have to just present the news, but how is it when you have things that happen where you know like from a humanitarian place like certain things are wrong? How does that work in your day to day?
So yeah, for me, especially growing up in red states, that's the horrible thing about being from the South and loving the South is that your people in the South love you. Like Black people in the South love Black people in the South. You can't say that for everybody in the South. So that's the tough thing about that. But like in this instance, doing my job is like how I see myself like being the change, because because of the career I chose, like I can't always, you know, be in the streets protesting. I can't be publicly resisting like people always do. So like that's why I want to be the one to actually go cover these things and like give them the proper coverage and give them like the depth and the layers that they actually are, so people understand that and can get that information. So people can understand how different we are, but how close we are, like as humans. Just because that's how life goes. Like hard stuff happens to everybody, and specifically to people of a certain skin tone. So yeah, when things happen, I'm like, I want to be the one on that. Like recently we had I think it was a triple homicide where about to get real dark. Sorry, folks. We had a triple homicide where it was like a boyfriend like shot like his girlfriend and I think I think her sister and then her daughter, like triple homicide and the dog. And so I was like, I told my coworker, I was like, I heard 3 women are killed. I want to go be on that story, just because like that's me. I'm like, I want to go do that. But you know, we have people on it because we're pretty good with that stuff. So like that's just how I see myself trying to be the change like through my career.
Always appreciate you. And thanks for coming on. I mean,
You hate to have them jump off after that. You got to find something else to say.
It's been it is what it is.
You can't have that man jump off after talking about 3 people losing their life.
I'm the problem.
Can you not let me? I was gonna fix it. That's my job, you know. Come in and make smooth. I got it.
Let the host.
Also let it hit. Like that's what he does. Like that's what. Like I get it, but sometimes you gotta feel. You gotta feel.
Okay, go ahead.
He a pro.
Please. I mean, we're here. Plug yourself. Let people know where they can find you and the things that you do.
Yes. At what am I at? Wow, I gotta remove all my stuff because that's the thing. I'm not in sports. I don't post as much on socials anymore. But at by PJ Green, Twitter, and Blue Sky is where I mostly post. And if you check kansascity.com, you might find me there. I mean, you can literally just Google PJ Green Kansas City and like you'll find my byline. You'll find some of the work I do.
He said Google me.
Not a flex, but just the facts. You know,
hey, both they are simultaneous. You know, when you say Google me, you gonna find your name. That's fire, bro. That's fire.
I mean, sometimes I tell me that. They be like, you on the news? I'm like, I was.
Fine, I'm gonna Google you.
They be like, oh, I'm gonna Google you. Yeah, can I Google you? I'm like, I mean, so
it is what.
Catch that man champagne and campaigning at a brunch near you in Kansas City on a Saturday.
Hey. Appreciate you, bro.
That.
Woo! I know that was nice. Have a good night.
Yeah, y'all too, man. Appreciate it always.
Oh man, let's go. Okay, it's about to get real hot in here. Shady gang, welcome on, Natty Blaze.
It's about to get real hot in here. Sorry about that, gentlemen. Thank you for having me. Also, I got the claw on deck, so cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to y'all. Thank you for having me again.
My affirmation beer koozie.
I did. You know what? I got on a plane today, and it was one of those tiny planes, like the same one that fell out in Toronto. And so I got on a plane today, and I made it safe. So you know what? I will drink to that. I did that.
There you go.
Cheers. Wow.
We are all clapping for landings every time.
Facts.
We all deserve it.
Now
God
it's
bless.
actually socially acceptable again
please.
to clap for a man who's like putting shit on autopilot. So like,
Whatever it takes.
They fly themselves.
Pilot did his job. Although, like I said, literally right before we were supposed to take off, the pilot gets on the intercom and is like, hey, do you know how like when cars are too cold in the morning that sometimes like they don't turn on all the way? And I was like, that's not the way to start whatever you're about to say.
That's crazy.
But yeah, long story short, they had to stall us for like 15 minutes while maintenance fixed like a monitor inside of the cockpit. And I was just like, you better tell me that monitor is going and good before you even think about leaving this airport right now. I'm not.
I mean, at least he said it on the ground instead of in the air, where he's just like, yeah, you know, we should be higher,
I'm
but
not
we're gonna
be
get there.
A statistic today. My God.
Oh,
but yeah, coming to you live, as I said right before we started this whole shindig, coming to you live for my first away day weekend for the MLS. Cincinnati is against Red Bull New York, and so I'm out here in the freezing tundra, which it's even colder than in New York, if you can imagine. So
the Midwest is unforgiving. It's like I respect you two gentlemen who live there. I respect people that travel there. I have no desire to see the Midwest before May, like pre-Memorial Day.
That's fair.
Why would I do that?
That's how you know I love the sport. Like that's how you know I love the people. Like
love.
I'm staying at my friend's. Like I love her. She has a 7-month-old baby. Like I'm so happy to like carry a kid around and just get that like explode my ovaries just like for a weekend. You know what I mean? But like to be out here and to get to say that I can go back from the Midwest and go back to New York, like that's a privilege, and I understand that.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah. It's got its issues for sure.
I mean, not like New York doesn't, but
I'm sorry. I'm the resident coastal elite of the podcast, so I'm sorry. That is my bias. The coastal do it best. It's nice out here.
Yeah, I mean, East Coast is doing the thing too. Like I said, hopefully this coming year for New York sports will hopefully be better. I mean, we left on a pretty good note last year. Can't really complain. You know, kind of a Cinderella run for the Red Bull team, which was very hard coming from someone who did a finals the year prior and ended up actually winning the damn thing. So I've kind of gotten back-to-back years of like two sides of the coin, you know what I mean? But like men disappoint me. Gotham hasn't. So there's that.
oh, what's up? How's it going, Luke? Appreciate
say,
you. Thanks for
Friends.
stopping
Oh, I
through.
love those little pop-ups. That's so cute.
It is. It's nice. Oh,
Yeah.
hold on. I actually wanted to pop this up because not so fun fact. Corn is actually from the area I live.
Oh.
So they're really popular where they come often, and they sell a whiskey around here, and it does very well. Yeah. So
My condolences.
yeah.
Very, very sorry. Like
That's fair. That's real.
You learn something new every day. I had no idea.
I mean, I have to walk by, like, I'm in the financial district for work, just like for my actual day job. And so having to walk by anything that has Trump's name on it is literally like anytime, like, there's always a crowd of like tourists around it, whatever. And I'm just like walking by, like, like walking on down the street back to the subway. Like, it's all good. Oh, man.
It's who's that guy, this small town country, not in my small town or whatever, that country song, that guy's coming here. Like that's the vibes, the general vibes of this area. Like there are decent people, there is like a very dope art scene, but it's very concentrated. So, yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunate. Like, trust me, the Midwest, like I rib my friends from Cincinnati because I'm just like, there was one time at a Red Bulls game that there was this kid in the support, like in the stands, that had a poster that said we were against Cincinnati that night, and it said things to do in Ohio, and just number one, leave, and like huge letters. And it's just like, okay, I get it. Like real people live out in the Midwest. Like I obviously know a lot of really awesome people who come out from the Midwest and from other parts of the country. And I'm super, super blessed to know that many people. And like, honestly, just good people. Because like in this climate and this day and age, sometimes it can be really easy to think that only the good people are in like the coastal metropolitan areas and like whatever. But, you know, we make community where we can. And like, that's super important, especially in the soccer community. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know. I do.
Yeah. Just to deal with the regular bullshit that's happening. And this, like, every single day, it's like, all right, so what are we getting for dinner? Like, whatever trauma can come through. Oh my God, is that
What's going on, Tom?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, Sib?
Hi, Sib. I was wondering if you were gonna show your face.
Yeah, we were recording the 12, which is a WSL podcast that all of y'all should listen to because
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh no, I have seen the promotion. Like, I've seen the socials for that, I think.
All right. You should listen to it. We talk about Aston Villa like not doing great.
I mean, all right, you're coming in real hot.
I'm coming in real hot. I'm coming in real hot.
Right.
I haven't even hit the Benjamin yet. Like you're really
All
you're
gas,
really-
no brakes.
Right, just like vroom.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I am upset for a lot of reasons. Obviously upset that like the Villa women, like I'm a Villa fan, obviously. Well, not really obviously, but like one of my friends got me into that for like Premier League wise. I followed them right when Steven Gerrard came in and we had fucking Philippe Coutinho for a hot second. Wild times. But even on the women's side, like unfortunately they're not doing as well as the men have been doing historically. And, you know, a lot of that has to do with, you know, obviously funding and attention. Like they're not getting as much of the love on the side for the women's than the men's. And we just got, what's her face? Natalia Arroyo coming in. She's made some questionable decisions already with her roster. I think there just needs to be a lot more change up and down. Like getting a new coach is great. But honest to God, like the thing that hurt me the absolute most was losing Kenza Dali to San Diego. Like San Diego of all teams, like no. It hurt. It hurt really, really bad. So honestly, like
That's crazy.
I'm excited to like, am I excited to see Ken Zadali in person play at Red Bull Arena, or sorry, at the CIS one of these days? Then yeah. But not for San Diego, not in San Diego colors.
Wait, what's it called now? The
The
sports.
Sports Illustrated Stadium. So we're playing at the CIS
Forgot
now.
about that. Forgot about that.
Uh-oh Sisters is literally going to be the only thing I say whenever anything goes wrong in that stadium. But it's literally still Red Bull Arena. Like no one cares.
Sports Illustrated. I didn't. Sports Illustrated got money like that.
So that was the
Yeah.
big story, right? Like they laid off so many
Laid off all
people,
those
got
people.
bought
Yeah.
by by a new company, and then it was like, oh no, we got naming rights money. We can do that.
I mean, if they had the ability to take the naming rights from Red Bull, who like that's crazy. Like that's a lot of money. Like I've been at the stadium. Obviously, I'm on the board for ESC, which is this year celebrating its 30th anniversary. Very excited
Dope
about that.
stuff.
We have some really cool stuff lined up for this year. Including which we already released, so it's semi-public knowledge, but since we made it to the finals and we're all very emo about not having won the final, we've coined the emo supporters club, and our 30th anniversary scarf is My Chemical Romance themed, because they hate to see a bitch from New Jersey winning. So like, yeah, this is what happens when you let me have artistic freedom over anything that gets published. Like it's just not. But yeah, I mean, like they've been taking down all the signage and replacing it, and it's kind of crazy. Like I don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's still Red Bull Arena to all of us.
What to say?
That's wild. Well, and even on the men's side of Villa, Rashford, that was a crazy move. Got the big bucks sending old boy to Saudi. Like
Boy, listen, John Duran, famous Chicago Fire, John Duran.
Right.
You know, you got to remember your roots. The fact that kid is now getting like an 80 million, like whatever he's getting paid in bag, like the kid has to take a plane to go to practice every morning, because like half of they don't like the most of the squad doesn't live in like Saudi proper, because it's like illegal to live with like your girlfriend or wife or something like that, right?
Unless
There's
you're
something.
married, I think.
Yeah,
I
unless
heard
you're
that. I didn't
married,
know
it's
if it.
illegal.
I think I heard that it wasn't really true, but I don't know. But to your point, it would feel true.
Yeah, I know a lot of, or allegedly, the socials are saying that a lot of the Saudi players don't actually live in the country, so they usually have to commute via like plane or whatever to get to their practices, which is crazy. But like honestly, a kid coming from abject poverty in Colombia to then turn around and be like at the grand age of what, like 22, like he's making that much money and just setting up his entire lineage for whatever comes down the line, like John Duran can
Can't be mad
absolutely
at it.
come back into the Premier League at some point. Like he doesn't have to stay there, but if he wants to get his bag and live his FIFA career mode dreams by playing with CR7 for however long he wants to play there, then like fine, do your thing. Like he did what he needed to for Villa, and for that I am very thankful. Like kid scored against Bayern. Like that was insanity. Like he scored nothing but bangers for Villa. So like I can't be mad. I really can't.
If you could have kept one, well, you kept the club kept
Ollie,
was it?
yeah.
Yeah, Ollie Watkins. If you had to choose, which would you have chosen? If you were the
Honestly,
GM?
if I were GM, I would have stayed with Ollie, because
Okay.
to be very honest, and this is the first year that I've ever done a fantasy league with like some of my friends. I have Ollie Watkins. Kid has not been producing as much as last year, but he is still very reliable. He's consistent, and he's not a foul magnet the same way that John Duran is. Like for as much as the intensity and how many bangers that John Duran has scored, I agree with Unai in the sense that he's been a liability on the field sometimes, and that's why I'm pretty sure he's been managed. Like while he was at Villa, his minutes were managed so closely, was because like he was he's still very green, you know, like he wants to prove himself. He has the energy and like the ability to be that super sub when Ollie like can't deliver. But ultimately Ollie is still that consistent guy. He loves the Villa. Ollie Watkins is the best. Oh my god, that's wild. Like but like I, you know, we could have sold Ollie. Obviously, I think Arsenal is still gunning for him, which is awful, and I hate that. But like, Ollie loves the Villa. He's, the fans still love him, and he's our golden boy. Like fucking Arthur Reginald. Like he has the most. Like you see his name on paper, and you think this kid is white. It's crazy. Like Oliver Arthur Reginald Watkins or something like that. It's like the craziest name, but like I love him. And I think he still has a lot of potential.
Oh,
So I mean, honestly, I want to
Oliver George
George
Arthur
Arthur. Yeah, there you
Watkins.
go. Oliver George Arthur Watkins. Like name a more British man.
Yeah, facts. That's
Um,
facts.
but like I honestly too, like even with Rashford coming in, super excited about that signing. Like I don't like either Manchester. Obviously, I have my historically we've had those elbows rubbing a little bit, but
Mhm.
as far as like him coming in and proving himself, like it's an insane story. Like I feel like he can learn so much, even just like he can teach people, like especially like his history and the way that he plays, and like he can learn from our attacking force too. Like Ollie is going to be paired up with him. Like they're going to do amazing things, and they've already been showing it.
Another question for you.
Yeah.
Since you're enjoying having Rashford back, or having Rashford, I should say,
Period.
uh, I've got a player that used to be a star in Aston Villa.
Uh huh.
Would you be interested in a medium-sized fee for none other than Jack Grealish?
Gucci Puma. You can have your own Gucci Puma.
I'm gonna say this once, and it's gonna be the only time he's your problem now.
He's a hometown hero. He's a legend out there. You guys
That's
want him back,
rude.
right?
That's
Yeah, and
rude.
you know what? If he came back, would I have a problem with it? Probably not, because he would probably play the way that he used to play. He's just not getting, I don't think, the amount of playing time that he thought he would. And like I can get that. I understand that. Do I am I begging for him to come back? Absolutely not. Like we have Marcus Rashford
Wow.
now. We have Ollie. We have Marco Asensio just came in too from La Liga. Like he's been doing amazing. We've been really putting together we've had a lot of injuries, but we've been putting together a really solid team on the men's side. And if we can exercise the option for both him, for Rashford, and for Asensio, I would absolutely do it. Um, oh man, are you giving us live updates?
Live.
Oh,
Literal life.
Tom, my hero. Oh, you love to hear it.
Let's
And
go.
Yasmin Ryan being involved. Oh, you know what? Gotham side, I'm gonna miss. Like our midfield was
How did
so solid.
how did that happen?
Um, so unfortunately, this last season, Gotham's GM, Yael, was out for a while because of some medical reasons. She had like some surgeries. She was going through recovery. Um, and according to sources, um, she wasn't there to help negotiate when Delaney and Yasmin were coming for their contract negotiations. And
Ooh.
so someone, whoever the replacement GM, like the interim was, they fucked up. Like they fucked up really badly.
Wow.
And so once Yasmin said that she was out, Delaney was going to follow her. Like that was just going to happen. They were not going to break up that dynamic duo. It wasn't going to happen. And so now Houston has them. I'm very upset. Um, Yasmin is such an underrated baller, and I'm just happy she's getting a lot of the accolades she deserves now, especially on the national team scale. But
Mm.
we're gonna miss her in the midfield a lot. Um, I am very excited, however, for Ghanaian international Stella Namieke, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not sure, but she hasn't. I think visa stuff is holding her up, and she just went to international duty. But we have some really exciting players coming in that I can't wait to see what they can offer. Honestly, see how they fit into the system.
Mm. Mm.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic for Gotham stuff. Cautiously optimistic for Red Bull stuff coming through this. This weekend will be the first game of many. Excited to go and chant, deny, defend, oppose because rumor is the Mangione cousin's going to be on deck on the bench. And apparently the home crowd might join us if our away crowd can actually produce the amount of volume that I want us to. So we'll see. Either way, it's gonna be a good time.
I'm here for it.
Is this game on TV? I want
Yeah, I
to
know.
hear what the announcers are gonna say when that chant goes up and
Oh,
it's
you
like
bet your sweet ass they're going to put out like fake audience noises. They're gonna try something. I
try
guarantee
to cover it
you.
up.
They're gonna try to cover it up. If we can actually get the
The
entire
noise, yeah.
stadium, like away and the home end, to do that, it would be absolutely insane. I think on deck for either tomorrow or before the game, some of the guys want to. Some of the away supporters who have come into town want to go pay their respects to Harambe as well before at the Cincinnati Zoo. So
The Legend of Harambe.
it's gonna be the shithousiest game in the world. It's gonna be so dumb.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
This is the type of vibe that I want to carry through like this 30th season for Empire Supporters Club. Honestly, just having fun, being sickos, chanting about denying, defending, and deposing, and calling Mangione's cousin a natural shooter. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's that type of vibe. Like we're all so fed up. You know what I mean? Like
you know he is a striker for real.
he's a natural shot.
You know?
I don't know what else to say it. Like I think everyone in that family is a natural born shooter, man.
When the shoe fits, you know.
Oh no! When the shoe fits, make sure it's at point blank range.
Yes.
I mean, you said I could curse here, right?
Oh yeah, no,
You
I'm
didn't
you
didn't tell me what the
I'm being dramatic for fun. No, I loved all this. No, I thought about making the jokes once all that information was being shared around, and I was just like, nope.
You gotta wait.
I'm gonna keep it on social media, but especially if y'all can get this loud enough, best believe I'm clipping this and being like, by the way, breaking news was last night. We knew it was coming.
Yeah, it was. You heard it here, folks. If you hear deny, defend, oppose, or or like second best Mangione being shouted from like the stands, you know why? Actually, someone said third because there's Chuck Mangione, who's like a jazz guy. I was just like, all right, third.
Anybody
second.
who's watched King of the Hill, they know who Chuck Mangione
is. we love some Chuck Mangione in this house too, so it is what it is.
Oh, I love it. Well, before we get you out of here, how do you see this match going, Cincinnati versus Red Bull?
I am again cautiously optimistic. Cincinnati doesn't have.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Don't do that.
My Midwest friends are going to actually read me for that one. But the fact that they've lost a lot of pieces in their offseason too. They lost what's his face? Was it Lucho? Yeah, they lost Lucho on their side. He's out the door, which is great because I did not like that man at all. Apparently, famed New Jersey and Matt Miazga is going to be coming back because he's now off of the injury report. Very excited to chant Metro Reject at him. As far as the results go, I think we could squeak out a win. I think we have I think our team has a little bit more cohesion. And honestly, I was really happy and impressed. Like, I'm not usually impressed by a Red Bulls offseason. I was kind of impressed by this one. We got Choupo-Moting in. We got Victor Bogash. We got like a bunch of other guys coming through. So yeah, I think it can help. And Emil Forsberg isn't much of a family man, but he has a really good way of captaining the team and kind of taking reins there. So I think we could rally for a win to open the season. I'm hoping.
Well,
so we'll see.
I hope for all the positive things.
Yeah, we're gonna be with hand warmers out there. ESC's on tour.
Layers.
We are ready, and we've been here since '95. What's another cold, windy day in Cincinnati?
Well, please plug yourself. Let people know where they can find you and the things that you do.
Yeah. First of all, thank you again for having me, y'all. This has been awesome to talk shop and to just hang out again. I think very fondly on 420 out in Chicago with all of y'all. That was one of the
such a
best
great time.
times.
Yes.
You can find me across the web at Natalie B. Lazo if you would like. I also have, much like PJ, you can Google me. I have a website, natalieblazo.com. You can see
Hey.
all of my, the ways that I choose to weaponize my BFA in the real world. And I even have a lot of my TIFO concepting and other stuff that I've done design-wise for sports, which is also a very fun way for me to actually use my art degree for not capitalism. So good times.
Love that. Love that. Well, thank you for coming on. Have a good rest of your night and good luck out in the cold tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll take pictures, plenty of them for you guys.
Yes, great.
We'll see if we can get the chant going.
Please.
Have a good night, y'all.
See
Stay
ya.
warm.
Yes.
Oh man. Oh, this is such a good show. Oh, and woo to our final guest, another first timer for Shady Gang. Please give it up for Kyle's goal. Pew, pew, pew.
What's up, y'all?
What up, Kyle?
How are y'all
What's
doing?
going
I'm
on?
so
What's
excited to
going
be
on?
here.
Yes.
Great
yes.
night, man.
How are you? How are things?
Good. Thursday. I'm avoiding sitting on a freeway right now, so I'm good.
Yeah, you're West Coast, yeah?
I'm West Coast. I'm in LA and I commute across the city most days.
Well, that's horrible. I don't miss that life. I don't miss that.
It's the worst. We did just
What's the
move, so my
temperature?
commute is lower. But today, temperature. What was the temperature?
Yeah. I just
It
want to.
was warm. Okay, sorry. It was warm. It was cold by our standards today. I think it was like 60.
Oh, man, that
There
was
was some
last
talk
week.
on how
Sir, do you know that it got to 10 degrees today? And that was 20 degrees warmer than it had been any other day this week? Did you know that? Did you know that?
I wasn't the
just-
one complaining about the weather, but there were
Okay.
some comments on how nippy it was today in
Yeah,
Santa Monica.
60 gets people like that are locals will be called it's brisk. They're like, ooh, let me put on a big coat. Like
I had a
anyway.
coworker who called it confusing. He said this weather's confusing.
Oh, sorry. There you go. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's ridiculous. That makes no sense. I don't want to live in those conditions. I don't understand. Y'all are the realest people in the world in the Midwest.
Y'all,
Like,
no, I gotta give it up to
I am so soft.
I have to give it
I am
up.
so
I have to give it up to Messi actually for playing in that match last night because ain't no fucking way you couldn't have paid me enough money to just sit there and watch that match. So to the fans that went out to Children's Mercy Park last night and sat and paid money to sit in them stands. I hope the hospital bill for frostbite is not high. I hope it's not high. I hope you have good medical insurance and it covers it, and your copay is low.
People are courageous.
Seriously.
Seriously. I see you're an Angel City fan, and
yes, sir.
I became a supporter of them.
I love it.
Just last year.
Cool.
So I'm very new to everything.
Hell yeah.
I was Jamie Calderon. She came on last year and she basically sold me on them. And she was like tacos, Junendo, and like she knew because we're city that I love Yui. So anything just near her just makes me love them. And then also tacos. Like tacos was like California tacos. Like I have yet to have it. And so like that, like
you got to come out.
Yeah.
Angel City game days are genuinely so much fun. I know it's talked about a lot, but like it's true. Like they are just genuinely so much fun. It's one of the best soccer experiences I have ever had. And it's been really cool to be there. Me and my wife have had season tickets the first 3 seasons. We're not doing it this next season. I could not convince her. She just said the product on the field wasn't enough for her.
That's
and she
fair.
said, she's like, I'm not paying money for this. And
That's
I said,
fair.
I can't
That's
argue
fair.
with that.
That's so fair.
The last season was a rough one for us. So I think we'll go to only a couple this season in person. Well, her at least. I'll try to go to more. But the games are so much fun, and the fandom is great, and the SGs are great. Jamie does like the fandom online is really fun with Angel City. I really like that part of it, and that's been really fun, especially because I'm from Seattle, so I'm not like an LA native, and so one thing I really like about Angel City and like supporting about Angel City is like I'm emotional with the Sounders. I grew up watching them as a kid. Like when they lose, it affects my mood, right? But Angel City, I didn't start following them till my late 20s and stuff. And so like I can kind of separate that a little bit. And it's nice to have that team I can follow and then step away from and not get too caught up and worked up in it.
That's fair.
So
Was there ever?
I like. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, was there ever a moment where you kind of felt like, should I be a Seattle Reign fan?
So I have thought about it. The big thing for me is the Reign didn't truly start until after I left LA or after I left Seattle to go to college.
Okay, gotcha.
It was always just like the Seattle Sounders women. And even then, they weren't playing in an accessible way. Like it was very difficult to go see them. And I lived in a Seattle suburb too. So it was particularly difficult. And so the Reign didn't really come around until I had already left Seattle. And so I think that's a big reason why I haven't had that connection to them. Because I'm also one of those people, I love going to local soccer. Wherever I live, I'll go to games. And so when I was down in Orange County for school, like I'd go to Orange County Soccer Club games in the USL. When I lived in Long Beach, I had season tickets to the Galaxy. Like whatever the closest is, I'll kind of just have tickets to. And so that's, I think, one reason why I've been able to latch on with Angel City is I just like going. I love going to the game.
That's great. Yes, Jamie's the best. And thanks for coming on, Danny. Hey,
Danny,
everybody. Yes.
Steve, all of them are. We do a panel show on LB's channel.
Oh, let's
together,
go.
And so they all jumped on today. So I appreciate y'all.
That's great. Let's go.
Oh, let's
Thanks
go.
for the love. Thanks for the love.
That's dope as hell.
Oh,
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, so I completely agree with your wife in that the game, like I became a fan and I'm just watching and I'm like,
what is this?
What is happening? And she Jamie actually sent me a really nice like pack of like the cards and a poster and some scarves and stuff. So like I'm wearing the scarves and I'm all excited and they have players that I very much enjoy and I love the way that they play.
They're talented. It's talented players.
Yeah. And it just, for some reason, it just collapse. And since this is my first year, but it's just so rough. And especially because I am in the Midwest, I'm so far away. So it's just like, I'm super far away rooting for this team, but hey, their social media is great. Their social media is great though.
And there was a lot of hype going into last year because we ended the previous year so strong. We made the playoffs. We were the probably second or best team for those final 14 games down the stretch. And so we had hype and it was like, okay, we figured it out. We're an expansion team, but we kind of had figured it out. And then we just went absolutely like nowhere last year. And it is just, it's difficult. And like, even to your point of like the hype is so good online and stuff. Katie Johnson, who's a forward on Angel City the past couple of years, she just did an interview on another podcast for Urban Pitch. And she was talking about how she was like, I love the fans, but at some point you guys got to boo us. Like, if we're not good, you guys can boo us. You know that, right? And so like the positivity, I think, does need to kind of turn into a little bit of holding the team to some standards.
So there's like a weird level of like toxic positivity around.
Absolutely. So last year when the Reign came, they got a PK and Pino came up to take it. And I turned to my wife and I said, we're fine. She's going to sky it. Because this was after the World Cup. I was like, no doubt, she's skying it. Someone turned around and scowled at me for saying that. And wow. That's what I'm like, I'm allowed to say that. Like, that's not even a controversial statement. It's a joke and it's funny. And like, but like, just that kind of reaction is not uncommon in there. And I think that's the part that can get a little frustrating when those of us that really do want to watch good soccer. Like, it's not fun getting smacked by expansion teams in our home opener every year.
That's fair. Embrace the banter a little bit, and definitely. Well, you're definitely right, because I do know some Angel City supporters, and I love them. And yeah, they are. They're they are the happy clappers. But people mean that in like a mean way. I like that, they're super supportive especially because this is my first year. So I kind of actually, I like need that. Like, I'm just like, yeah, y'all are still like, y'all know better than me. Y'all are going to the game. So if y'all are like super happy with things, I'm super happy with things. So
yeah, you're good. I'm good.
Yeah. But you definitely need to hold and expect a little.
And like
more.
to be clear, I'd rather have a toxic positivity rather than like toxic negativity. Right.
That's facts.
Like
Definitely,
I'm sitting here poking fun at it, but like, let's be clear. Like this is a good fandom. It is a lot of fun. But I do wish we had a better team.
Kyle, sorry.
Oh yeah, no, you go for it, Sharpie, please.
Kyle, what's your minimum expectations? Like this season, Angel City needs to do X for me to feel like it's a success.
Good question.
That's hard because I don't even know if it's related to like where we are in the standings. Like I think we just need to show like an identity on the field. Like we've been identityless for 3 seasons, and like
they play from the back.
Sure do. We sure do. I want an identity other than that. Let's say that. And like this isn't trying to be like super hating on them, but no one has stepped up as like the real star of the team. No one has taken it on the shoulder and said, "Give me the ball. We're down a goal. Give me the ball." And like I just think we really need foundational things like that right now.
Yes.
We don't have.
But how much of that is just like Christian Press being hurt? Like,
exactly. Yes.
Like I think if Christian Press is back on the pitch, it's not this. Whatever
totally
this was.
And Endo last year. We didn't have Endo all of last year.
Exactly.
So yes, we had Sarah Gordon with an ACL the first season. Every single season we have had a very important player completely just gone the whole season, like a preseason injury. Well, no, Press wasn't, but Endo and Gordon were both preseason ACL tears.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that is a good point. We have really been hit by the injury bug, and not losing Press for 2 surgeries in 1.5 years would definitely help. So yeah, but I do think we really just need that. Like what's an Angel City goal? So like I have another podcast I do called Above the Clouds with one of my good friends, and we kind of Monday morning quarterback Angel City. So we do our episodes after games. So it's just very like reactionary stuff. And one of the things we always talk about is like, what is an Angel City goal, right? Like what does that look like? And we've never really had an actual answer to it. And so I'd love to have an answer to that. Like what does an Angel City goal look and feel like? So I'd love for us to be in the playoffs. I think it's going to be tough. I don't think we've addressed the midfield really. And we have an interim coach who's now kind of being called a long-term interim coach, which is always an interesting one. Parsons did come out. Oh, go ahead.
Is that a ploy just so Mark Parsons can just be the coach at some point?
Right. That was because like when people announced Mark Parsons, it was like, wait, as coach or what? That was always like the first question. So apparently though, there was something today that Meg posted that apparently it's down to 4 people. 1 is available now and 3 are available in June or July, which makes you feel like they're like a European hire. So in theory, we're getting closer. But even then, if it's June or July and you get a head coach, like what are they really going to be able to do? I don't know. I'm a big believer in preseason. And this maybe comes from like my MLS fandom. But like every time you sign a player in MLS, they need that preseason before they're actually like seriously impactful. And some of it is cultural and some of it is like physicality, game changing of like where they're coming from. But new coach midseason is tough.
Hey, if you want, you can take Garrett Taylor. Maybe he's one of those coaches.
Yeah. Right? I know, seriously though. So I'm curious. Apparently Meg has like a podcast dropping tomorrow that'll go.
No, we will give him to you. I think
I will not stand for this.
I was gonna say, Charlie, come on, Charlie, defend him.
I was like, y'all cook. It's cool.
Not me. I don't have an opinion one way or the other, man. It is what it is.
We'll give him. Okay, go ahead. Watch what happens. I hope y'all kick him out. Go ahead, and then watch. Just watch.
I guess one thing I do have a question for you guys is like, what do you guys think of Angel City? Because like I'm in the bubble, right? And so I'm very curious, kind of what the opinions are.
I think like you talked about like Angel City having an identity, and I think that like that's something that really does come from the top, and there has been so much transition of what Angel City has been and whose hands it has been in and who has been in control and who has control of what, that there hasn't been no one's been able, the entity has not been able to mold its own identity. It doesn't know what it is yet. So I think that my perception of Angel City is like it's a mess at the top, and so everything that trickles down to that like is also going to be a mess.
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it. Like Mark Parsons is our first technical director. He didn't replace someone.
Right.
We're about to be in our 4th season.
It feels like, and I was in LA. I lived there 21 through 23.
Okay.
So I was there for a couple games, the first season or second season. I think the club it was there to like get the people excited, but the real football things didn't happen, right? The real soccer things weren't happening. Like you just said, first technical director, that's crazy. Sporting director. But the name that was supposed to be, like you all mentioned, was Kristen Press. She was supposed to lead the line. She's supposed to be the veteran force to like kind of help all the young people, especially those forwards like Alyssa Thompson and others.
Yeah.
So, and then like even when her name escapes me, she was playing really well, got that really bad leg injury. Charlie, no, wrong name.
Simone Charlie.
Simone Charlie, yeah.
Yeah.
Like just little things happen. Like you said, it's always injuries, and you can't.
Yeah.
It's hard to overcome health, as we see with Man City this season. It's really hard when people are hurt to go past that. So I hope now, you got great ownership, probably the richest owners in the NWSL. You got all of these things, new center for the new training facility for the women,
Right.
which is awesome. So hopefully all these things are leading to a season where I think top half of the table is possible, right? Like it should happen based on everything that's there. But like you said, if you don't have an identity, if you don't know how you're going to score goals, like that's tough. But I think the future is definitely brighter than the past, for sure.
Definitely. And we have a young core. Like, we have both Thompsons. Endo is still only like 23. We have Hodge, the rookie we just got. We have Antonucci, the 17-year-old who scored the game winner in our preseason. Guess she's technically just a roster invitee, but this is her second year doing a preseason with Angel City. We have Kennedy Fuller, who's like 18, and she did not look out of place last year. So like, yeah, we definitely have a young core that you can build around, and I think the future is definitely looking bright. So, and like to be clear, Parsons is not a sexy pick, but I think it's a good pick. He checks every box you want in that role. He's a former coach. He did it at Spirit, did it at Thorns, he did it at the international level. He's done it in Europe. Like that's what you want in your first sporting director, technical director. And so like I have to kind of give them props for that. Like it feels like that was a good choice. And Lady, the interim coach, like he has experience in NWSL. It's a little weird to hire a guy and then also not interview him for the full time. Like that, the whole coach thing has been a little weird. They've kind of just not really talked about it, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we have an interim."
Well, I think it just started weird when like y'all literally just stole Freya from Gotham, and so it was like, but so like it's almost like the Defense Against the Dark Arts like job, like it's always going to be interim because of that. Like, you know what I mean?
Totally. That's a good point. I like that. The Defense Against the Dark Arts job. So yeah, we'll see how Lady handles it, and we'll see who's next, right? Who's the guest professor of the year?
Question for all of you all, because I admittedly have paid less attention this year or last year or so. With the change to getting rid of the draft and basically everyone coming in as free agents, it's LA. You got UCLA right there, you got USC right there, and maybe they're not at the top of the the pecking order as far as college programs are concerned, but they're very, very close to the top. Is there like a pipeline of those kids coming out of school, coming right into Angel City? And you already talked about that young core. And so, a certain extent, you do need some veteran presence as well. But do we see a pipeline developing, or could there be a pipeline that develops that maybe they're not great today, but they have, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not really a train this time?
Absolutely. I think that is something Angel City will be trying to do. When they went out and got Alyssa Thompson, the first Thompson, they were very like public about her being local. Was a big part of why they like went out and traded for the first pick to go then trade that to get her. And so I think they definitely will, and I hope they do. And I think that's one of my favorite things about soccer compared to even other sports, is how you can kind of have these players that go up and develop with a club. And like with the Sounders, with some of these, like with Obed Vargas, we've been watching him since he was 16, like it's it's very cool to see these young players like literally become adults and grow into these players. And so I love that. And I think Angel City will definitely be trying to do that. Angel City does a lot of stuff around like off the field, even where they have a fund that funds small business startups from former players, not even related to Angel City, but just former women players that are doing businesses. They do some like loan work with them or business support with them. And it's all Southern California businesses and stuff. So I will give them props for kind of really trying to walk the walk with the community and stuff. And so I would really hope and expect for them to do that, especially because like even outside of UCLA and USC, you got like UC Irvine will always produce a couple players. Long Beach, Cal State Long Beach had a player that went to Spirit a couple years ago, but I think she actually just ended up in Spain. So yeah, and like you said, the talent's there in SoCal. So
Right.
we're one of
right.
the clubs that can like truly take advantage of that, and
I
hopefully
think
in the future. Yeah.
I think that probably the most important thing for Angel City's like growth as a club would probably be just to invest in a true academy system, like
Yeah.
so that like you can have Thompson sisters like walk through your door and you're not like picking through the AAU circuit and like no, you can
Mhm.
just like play with us,
Totally.
sort of thing, and so then you can like mold them as players so that they are ready for the club. So then you can have your like, this is what an Angel City goal looks like.
Exactly. And then like quickly, even to like team building, like you always need players outperforming their contract. And the easiest way to do that is to develop players, right? So like healthy academies, healthy player development are like always going to be showing up in the good soccer clubs. I mean, maybe not in like the leagues that are like, huge money, but in
I was gonna
in
say
the leagues where
Tom's gonna have them local clubs highly upset with him. All those players going to a
Oh
newly
man,
formed Angel City
it's
Academy.
gonna be some Orange County moms mad at
Yeah,
me and my DMs.
yeah.
My word.
But
Don't
again, you
put this
talked
shit
about the
on
different
Instagram,
leagues that
please.
all these kids are playing in, whether it's ECNL or GA and all the different leagues. But they got really talented players out there on the West Coast, especially in that area. There's a lot of really big clubs that are doing really good things. So again, if you can put an Angel City kind of on the top of the pyramid, not from a club perspective, but from a player perspective, where they just kind of funnel up to, they're playing on their local clubs until they reach a certain point, and then they come into a Angel City Academy. That's probably the best of all worlds. It's the kind of thing that you have to do in smaller areas that don't have, like for instance, you got Chicago Fire. They have the Chicago Fire locally in Chicago, but then they have Indiana Fire. They had an Atlanta Fire. They had all these different quote unquote fire clubs that were funneling their players up into this major market. So, as a former as a parent of a former player, I didn't want to drive to Indianapolis 2 hours away for practice 4 times a week. So you kind of, as a parent, you had to make those choices. But if your kid gets to play for Angel City, you might make that drive.
Yeah, it might get a little easier, right? Yeah, absolutely. So
Well,
the other thing too. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go for it.
I was gonna say the other thing too would be cool to see is like a partnership with the USLW team or making one as well as a way to develop players that like, because that's that balance too of like you need game time at some point, right? And so how do you get game time? Because that was one thing I think we saw with Casey Fair last year. A lot of us, she never really saw the field at all with Angel City, and she can regularly get called up to the Korean national team. And so it's just like it's hard as a fan. I want to see her on the field, but I just want to see her play so she doesn't like lose all this momentum she has. Also, that's another one. She's only like 18.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, what were you gonna say, Crunk?
Oh, nothing. Well, I was actually gonna end you out, get it so we can close out. So yeah, no. So I was gonna let you give your final thought. Yeah. So please plug yourself. Let people know where they can find you and the things that you do.
Yeah. So I have another podcast, like I was saying, called Above the Clouds. It's Angel City focused. We do episodes after every home game. You can find me on pretty much every social media as Scoble Vision. So Scoble Vision. I'm going to say it because the other two said it. You can Google me. I have a website.
Boom.
It's just all of my short documentaries I've been trying to make. It's not much, but it's there. It's no bylines on kansascity.com. There's no TIFO art, unfortunately.
We've risen the standard of host now. Like, I guess you gotta have a. If you can't Google, you don't come on. Like,
yeah.
I would say, don't Google me.
Please don't. You're gonna see a
Please
LinkedIn
don't.
page. That's
Please
it.
don't.
A 5-year-old LinkedIn page. That's all you're gonna get.
Hey, thank you guys for inviting me on. This has been so cool. It's been great. Hopefully we can do it again.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, man.
Gotta check in mid-season, see how Angel City, what's happening. Do they have an identity? Is Chris and Press scoring?
A little therapy session. It'll be great.
Yes,
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
Kyle, I might reach out to you later in the season. Just
Let's do it. That'd be
Love it.
great.
Yes. All right. Well, please, you have a good rest of your evening.
Have a great one, y'all. Have a good
Yes.
weekend too.
Yes. See ya. And now he's gotta drive home. It might be easier to handle the traffic now.
Yeah, 6. It'll be a little bit less, but man, don't miss that at all. Don't miss that at all.
Oh man. Well, shout out to our guests, PJ Green, Natalie Blaze, and Kyle Scoble. Someone say some things while I look up our guests for next week.
Well, as we move into the weekend, big match this weekend. The women are on international break, but the men play Liverpool on Sunday. We will have, of course, we'll be with you on Shades of Blue for a live stream. 15 minutes before kickoff, hit us up on FanFest. Can't wait to watch us go get 3 points. We need those 3 points. We're going to get those 3 points.
Let's go.
I'm excited for it. There you go, Crunk. That was my filler. That's all I got.
No, you did great.
That was dope. That was dope. That was amazing.
Love you, show bros. Look at y'all, man. This is great. Next week we got Saul. Then we got Fletcher, the homie, Detroit. What's up? And John Bray. He's an Everton fan, and I had him on.
Yeah, we've had him on before.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Good. I couldn't remember if we. Yes. Good. So he'll be back. Good. Let's go. All right. Wow. We just got like an influx of people in. I'm sorry. The live stream is over. I appreciate you for coming.
Yeah.
So
Thank you so much
please
for hopping on.
like the video, subscribe, all those fun things. We will see you soon.
Please,
Sorry.
Before you know the vibes, where are we at on subscribers? We're trying to get to 500. Last I checked, we were in the 430s. Do you have that
was
info?
441 last I checked yesterday.
Okay. We're
I
coming
know,
up.
Again, like I said, Steve, Danny, they are on with me. Well, I'm on with them, on with LB. And at the end of the show yesterday, of course, he let me plug the show and encourage everybody to come out and join, subscribe, to check us out. I know he reposted my tweet from earlier today. I actually went on X just because, tell people over there. I don't go over there very often.
I'll be there, dog. I feel you.
But
I'm in
I went over there, and
we're at 444.
He reposted it.
Okay,
so,
444. Shout out to Jay-Z.
So I mean, it's like even 3 today. So again, big shout out to the homie and everybody for jumping on.
Hey,
let's get that 500, baby. Come through.
Go.
Join us. We love y'all.
Yeah.
Hey. Well, now you know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.